Hey everyone, this is Matthew Gann with the Program Guyz podcast. Thanks for tuning in and want to give a quick update from our sponsors, the Sooners Shirt of the Month Club, offered by thefanstop.com. Get new and officially licensed Oklahoma t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies delivered straight to your doorstep monthly. Their shirts are super comfortable and super soft, so highly recommend getting your gear for the upcoming season. They have two plans. The standard plan only includes t-shirts, but is only $21.95 per month. Their premium plan includes long sleeves and hoodies between October and February and is $26.95 a month and always free shipping included. They are Oklahoma-based and have over 30 other colleges that are available for the Shirt of the Month Club. So check them out at thefanstop.com and use our code Guyz, spelled D-A-Guyz, Guyz, to save 15% for the first 6 months. Thank you so much for listening.
3, 2, 1.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Oh, what's up and welcome in to episode number 19 of the Program Guyz podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Patrick Hertzberger, Matt Gann, Mark Hall, Ryan Tyson. Today is Wednesday, May 18th, and we are off to a hot start on this Program Guyz podcast. We are very contentious. We'll get to it in a moment. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Program Guyz Podcast. Follow us on Twitter, Program Guyz with a Z. Follow us on Instagram, Program Guyz with a Z. Follow us on Facebook, Program Guyz Podcast. Anywhere you get your podcast, you can find us: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, whatever you want to do, folks. How we doing? We have been arguing about whether or not we need to talk NHL. Matt Gann believes he needs to address the Stanley Cup playoffs, and no one else really wants to.
Hey, we ain't talking about practice. We'll talk about playoffs.
Again, there's literally so many playoffs that we don't talk about. Just of like
Yeah.
random.
Name it. Name
The
one.
Champions League, the Europa League.
That's not a playoff.
All
That is-
things
soccer
that-
is completely separate, dude.
there are.
Gosh.
Well, I mean, it's more popular.
There's like
completely
12
separate, more
There's
popular.
12 soccer leagues going on at the same time, Patrick. We all know
Beautiful.
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that because the NBA, Shams Charania, actually tweeted something today about how the NBA was is talking about doing an in-season tournament like the FA Cup.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I think they should. I think that should be more normal.
But we shouldn't talk about it though, because why would we?
But here's the thing about the FA Cup.
We didn't talk about the FA Cup. That's the thing. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about
we
it.
weren't going to talk about the FA Cup. But here's the thing about the FA Cup and what makes that tournament so special is that other teams not in the Premier League can qualify for it. So second and third league teams can be in the FA Cup. Is that being considered in the NBA? Do we know? I don't know what the second league would be.
What
here,
in the
but-
world
soccer is
would
completely
be
different,
a
dude.
different league. Yeah,
Soccer
so
is an international.
Well, we could make a second league. Why isn't there
Hey,
NBA too?
hockey is also international.
well, there's a
Canadians
G League,
would have a word.
Patrick.
Yeah,
with
G
you.
League. Could a G League team play an NBA team to qualify for this tournament? Was my question.
They would lose.
That's what you think, but
That's what I
sometimes
know.
it doesn't happen. You see the U.S. team in the Olympics; they don't always
What?
play that good.
What if we did this? What if the WNBA team that wins the title plays the worst team in the NBA? If that WNBA team wins, they get to join the NBA. What do we
Down.
think?
I mean,
Yeah,
Relegation.
but that wouldn't be
Cool.
a thing either. Like
Yeah,
that wouldn't work either.
Those
It wouldn't?
Relegation. The NBA
Relegation.
team comes in
Yeah,
with a
let's do it.
salary cap of
Wait,
like
hold on.
400 million, and all
Yeah.
of the WNBA players make like maybe six figures.
You're right.
And that means we're just calling the WNBA just like the G League of the NBA.
If
That's
they're
not
better,
great.
then they prove it
Not great.
right now.
Optically, not what we want.
I don't know.
I do have
Hey.
one question.
Yes,
for
I have an
Ryan.
answer.
Ryan. Sorry. Well, maybe you can answer, Mason. Ryan, I know you hurt your ankle this week.
It was my foot, but yes.
Your foot. Can you just explain what happened?
Okay. This
I
is
put my
weird
foot.
to put me to put me on the spot right now. I was in Turks and Caicos last week, and I was out on the beach, and I decided to go paddleboarding for the first time in my life. And it was a little windy that day. The water wasn't like crystal still, very, very still. It was kind of rough with the waves. Went out there, was in a lot more shallow water than I thought I was. Lost my balance, fell, hit the bottom of the sea floor, and basically completely sprained everywhere from my toes down to like my ankle. My entire foot ballooned up for like 5 days, and it still hurts. But, we're working through it.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
You're so strong.
Yeah, you are. You're strong. You're
rough.
strong boy, strong paddleboard boy.
You were able to make it through a whole vacation in Turks and Caicos with a hurt foot.
Well, we literally didn't do anything. So it was
so
great.
you were on
I just sat
vacation.
on the beach.
Such
You're just hanging out.
wow.
Like, what are we doing here?
Such perseverance.
Yeah.
Mark, I try. I really do.
You succeed, my friend.
Well,
I succeed in most things, but
I did teach Gann how to paddleboard, Ryan. So next time you go out, feel free to give me a call, Mason, Mark.
I should have
you
had you on like FaceTime while it
Yeah,
was
that would have been good.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Yeah. You know who's going to be getting FaceTime? Is the new NBA draft picks that they're going to have coming up this summer. The NBA draft lottery order
A zinger.
Decided on Tuesday night, and it looks like Orlando Magic, first overall pick. Matt Gann's Oklahoma City Thunder, his second favorite team behind the
He's a
Dallas
Maverick.
Mavs.
Yeah. Okay. He's a Mavs
there you go.
fan.
Thanks.
Don't
Yeah, I
let
got
him-
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Houston Rockets, number 3, Sacramento Kings, number 4, Pistons 5, Indiana 6, Portland 7. LeBron James' Los Angeles Lakers, 8th overall pick. They get it from they give it to New Orleans. Yeah, they give it to New Orleans. Yikes. That's tough. You hate to see it.
You really hate to see that.
So that's the draft order. We talk about that because on Tuesday night, I keep forgetting what day it is. On Tuesday night, the Eastern Conference Finals get started. The Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat about to get underway in South Beach as we record this right this moment. Let's go ahead and give me some predictions for the Eastern Conference Finals. Who you guys got and how many games? Ryan, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't been watching a lot of the Eastern Conference. I'm sorry, Mason.
That's
Sorry.
fine. That's fine.
I've been watching a little bit of the Mavs and stuff, but we didn't get like every game when I was on vacation. So,
Oh yeah, that's right.
because it's like international. So it is. I'm gonna just go with the Celtics because I love you.
Thank you.
And I know you need this. So
I do. I need it very bad.
I'm gonna go Celtics in 7.
Beautiful. Matt Gann.
Yeah, I just want to let the viewers know there are also other playoff games as well. The second round of the NHL starts tonight. Just want to let everyone know it is relevant. There's other playoff games coming on as well. But to give my predictions for the NBA playoff.
I thought we were going to give him the time later.
I thought we moved on. No, he just did it. That's all we needed.
That's all I needed. Listen, I needed more than that, but that's okay. I just had to slide that in there. That there's also some other games going on. But from what I saw, since Horford and Smart are not playing, depending on their injuries, depending on when they come back, or they're able to play at all, unfortunately, I don't think Tatum's going to score 80 points a game. So I would have to go at this point, based on the injuries alone, Heat in 6, unless those players come back. But other than that, I mean, those are two major key players on the Celtics team. So,
what about you, Mark?
It sucks because it's hard not knowing how long these guys are going to be out, and they're key guys, right?
Yeah.
The Celtics bench gets incredibly short when Al Horford and Marcus Smart aren't playing, and you have to replace those guys on the court. So I'm still going to go Celtics in 7 though, because I think that Tatum is going to push it to the next level in more of these games than he did last series. They don't have Giannis on this team. Yeah, the defense is great. Jimmy is awesome. Bam is incredible. But Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're going to figure things out and get it done in 7 games.
I think this series is going to look extremely different from what that Celtics and Bucks series looked like, because Brook Lopez and Giannis aren't standing around in the paint anymore. I think the Celtics, contrary to what they showed in that semifinal series, they're a team that likes to attack and likes to drive to the basket, especially Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, which they didn't get to do a lot last series. So I think you're going to see that a lot more this time around. And yeah, it hurts that Al Horford's out with, I think it's health and safety protocols, aka COVID stuff. He should be back by at least game 3. You look at Marcus Smart, he's a grinder. I'd expect him back by at least game 3. And you get Rob Williams back, Time Lord. That's solid for the Celtics as well. I'm going to take Celtics in 6. That's what I have. Patrick, what about you?
Are we doing both or just the Celtics?
We're moving on to the Western Conference after this.
Okay, cool. So Celtics and Heat, what we really have to consider here is that the Heat played the Hawks, who are just all right, and then they played the 76ers, who have a bad James Harden who sucks, and he's a cheeseburger, and a Patrick Beverly who I'm a fan of Patrick, but like, come on, Patrick Beverly's not gonna. Is he on the Sixers?
It's for the Timberwolves.
Yep, he's on the Timberwolves.
All good.
Either way, I know the
completely other conference.
I know the 76ers just has James Harden, and the Heat can easily beat them. So I don't think the Heat has really matched up to anyone as good as the Celtics. The Celtics obviously beating the Bucks. I thought the Bucks were going to win the whole thing. That's really impressive to me. I say Celtics in 5.
Perfect.
5. Damn.
I love Patrick. You're from your lips to God's ears, to Brent Venable's ears. Let's move on. Golden State Warriors taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic show that last series. Do you think he continues this series, Matt Gann?
I mean, when I was watching Game 7, I could not believe what I saw. I mean, Luka obviously and the whole Dallas team played lights out. I mean, I think they were up by 50 points at one point.
In a Game 7.
Game 7 at their house.
So
at their house in Phoenix.
Phoenix also just like absolutely shit the bed. So like that's maybe another topic that we can talk about. But I mean, give credit to the Mavs for that. That was amazing. But also I look at that and I'm like, with that Phoenix team and the way that their year went, that like that was unacceptable.
Yeah. So from what I know from the Mavs, obviously playing really well, beating some really good teams. I don't know. I just think Golden State's got that veteran presence with Clay, Draymond, and Steph. So I think they're going to take it to 7. But I think with Golden State having home court, I think they'll eventually take it. So
perfect. Mark.
Yeah. So I kind of see. I can't get a Luka Tatum matchup out of my head, and I think we're sort of seeing a handing of the torch in the Western Conference here. And give me Mavs in 7.
I kind of like that. Yeah, I like it. Ryan?
Yeah, so I think arguably the Mavs are playing the best basketball out of any team right now. I think they have kind of found their groove and they understand like how to operate well together, and Luka is unbelievable. So that being said, I also think kind of what Gann talked about Golden State just having the experience. As a San Antonio Spurs fan, we love experience. It's great. But I think at the end of the day, I think Mark's right. I think it's kind of it's a new time for like a new player like Luka to like step up and take his team to the finals. So I think Mavs in 7 is what I'm going with.
Pat?
I really want a Golden State versus Celtics matchup here. I think that would be the coolest matchup that the country could really get. And I think Golden State, I understand Mavs have been playing well. I hate Dallas. Like Cuban, Dirk obviously played for the Mavs too. So I don't hate the Mavs, but I don't like Dallas. So I'm just going to go Golden State. And based off of what you guys are saying, probably 7.
I wanted to touch
based on y'all.
The Mavs regular season, Golden State played 4 games. Mavs won 3. Golden State won 1.
I love that.
That's their regular season.
I'm just going to pick with my heart because I honestly want no part of Luka Doncic. So I'm going to hope Golden State wins in 7 because I don't want to see Luka Doncic in the finals. Period. I don't. I know people are going to say, oh, Steph Curry's a Hall of Famer, yada, yada. I'd rather see Steph Curry at his age right now than 4 or 5 years ago. I'm okay with that. I'll live and die on that hill.
Hey, speaking of Patrick, what Patrick mentioned about Patrick Beverley, did you guys see his hot take on I forgot what ESPN show it was?
I think he was on First Take, right?
Yeah, he called Chris Paul, his defending, he called him a traffic cone or a cone that doesn't move. You just make one move and go by him.
Listen, that's a tough.
It's an incredible hot take from Patrick Beverley.
That's a tough thing to come back. That's a tough thing to come back from.
Yeah, see, I thought he was wearing a 76ers t-shirt in that interview. That's why I got him messed up.
No, he's like wearing a white polo. Man, you gotta.
It's all right. No worries.
Patrick also doesn't believe in Google, so
yeah,
never forget that.
Some NFL news happening this week. I think they're in OTA mode right now. Correct, Mark? Correct me if I'm wrong. I know the Dolphins are in OTAs.
No, I think it's just voluntary workouts right now.
Just voluntary workouts. Okay,
I think so.
Okay. Well, regardless,
no, because the rookie mini camp was just now, and then people were there. I don't know if that was voluntary though.
I'm pretty sure Vikings are in OTAs. I think
whatever it is, they're practicing on the field right now. We had a little bit of transactional news. Jarvis Landry heading to the New Orleans Saints, previously with the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry were touted as supposed to be the superstar duo in Cleveland, never really materialized. I love Jarvis Landry. I hope he does great things in New Orleans. I just don't know. I don't know if Jameis Winston is the guy to get the most out of him. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anybody else? Anything on Jarvis?
I was going to say, fun fact: the three top wide receivers for the Saints didn't play a snap last year. So that's Chris Olave, who they drafted, Michael Thomas, who's injured all year, and now Jarvis Landry. So be interesting to see how they all play together. Obviously, two Ohio State alums, and Chris and Michael Thomas get to play together. But it'll be interesting to see how Jameis does. I mean, they're good targets, so good wide receivers. We'll see how it plays out.
Mark?
I was going to say that it's just the Saints keep on having weapons. And between Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, you've got 3 different kinds of receivers there that can all do different stuff. And I don't know is it Pete Carmichael? Is he the OC now? Whoever it is, I'm sure they're going to be a Sean Payton guy. And that's a lot to throw at a defense. And they think that they're ready to compete. And I think Jameis is the only thing kind of standing in the way of that being the case.
I think you're right. Anybody else? Anything to add? Cool. Defensive back for the Green Bay Packers, Jair Alexander, 4-year, $84 million extension with those Packers. The only thing I'm going to touch on about this is that, wow, that money could have been used for a wide receiver. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but that just shows you they had plenty of money, so they offered Devontae. He clearly just didn't want to be there. So they're still on the lookout. I see Odell possibly coming. I know he's coming off an injury, but I've seen a lot of heat or a lot of topic coming off that he might come that way. They have money to throw now. I mean, they were going to give Devontae exactly what he was looking for. He just didn't want to be there. So they got the money. They'll make moves.
Why do you think he didn't want to be there?
I think probably just the culture. I think he really wanted to play with Derek Carr. I mean, they're college teammates, and I think it was his time to leave. He wanted to do something different. So, hey, he got what he wanted. But I am happy for the Packers. Look out, they are going to be a top 5 defense this year. Offensively, a lot of things in the air so far of who Rodgers is giving him throw to, but they're going to have a top 5 defense. I'm glad they secured a top cornerback in the league. So happy to see that.
Defense wins championships because Lord knows Aaron Rodgers can't.
Yep.
Had to be done. had to be done. PGA tournament comes to Tulsa, Oklahoma this week, the 918. I'm going tomorrow, practice round. I'm heading out there. Actually on Wednesday. Sorry. I'm really bad at this podcast hosting thing. I'm going on Wednesday, going to the practice round. Also got VIP tickets on Sunday. Your boy is big.
You know it.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, your boy's big time like that. I got him for free though. I'm not a high roller.
On the ground.
Boots on the ground, absolutely.
Boots on the ground. Bucket hats on.
Could you streak?
Do what?
could you streak
I could.
for the program?
For the program, I could. I
Let's-
100% could.
I'll be watching on.
We'll talk. We'll
on
talk
Sunday.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Favorites to win: Scotty Scheffler 11-1, John Rahm 11-1. They share the best odds. Rory McIlroy 14-1, Justin Thomas 14-1, Tiger Woods all the way down there at 50-1 odds. Tiger's going to play. My sister was out at practice this week. She works for Anheuser-Busch. Michelob Ultra is the proud sponsor of the PGA Tour, and she said Tiger looks good. My sister, Golf Insider, says Tiger looks good. So who
We
knows?
already have boots on
Hey.
the ground.
Yeah, we do.
We
do.
need to get Jensen on the pod next week.
Oh, I know. We'll get her on the pod. We'll get her on the pod. She might love Tennessee more than Pat does.
I don't know. That's
I know.
tough. I'm tough to compete with on that level.
Yeah. I can guarantee you she probably does.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad. I'm happy.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's good.
You guys are gonna have to just sing Rocky Top to each other, and
Yeah,
whoever
we
can
might.
sing it the loudest is the biggest.
I actually almost
Man.
wore my Tennessee polo tonight, but I guess
I'm really
that shows
glad
that
you didn't.
You won. Maybe next week.
Maybe not.
Oh, here, I wanted to bring this up. I meant to ask you guys about this. So I was the best man in the wedding this past weekend,
Mhm.
and we played golf at this resort called Shangri-La on Grand Lake. Beautiful golf resort. Very, very nice. I went out there and I absolutely sucked, and like sucked to the point where like I'm throwing clubs and stuff and like calling myself inhumane words. Is there anything in you guys' life, and you guys may not, this doesn't have to be golf. Is there anything in your life that like you control so much as like your golf game that like when you suck, you get as mad at yourself as possibly can? I was trying to think about it and I can't off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gambling.
Okay,
Good
that's
answer.
fair.
Good answer.
It's the only thing though that I think is the same, because you're right there, right?
Yeah.
Like you're if you're smart, then your thinking was sound when you made the bet, whatever you're doing. But then it goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
And just like golf.
I really
feel like-
don't.
Go ahead.
I really don't get worked up when I go out and play golf.
You know,
No, if I would go out and play all the time, then maybe. But we're out there for fun. And when people start complaining and throwing their clubs and stuff like that, then it doesn't get as fun.
oh, I know. Yeah. I make it not fun for other people. I'm well aware. I wish I wasn't the way that I am. Matt, is tennis kind of that way though? But like you play against someone else, right? Like at the end of the day, you can really only blame yourself if you suck. But like, do you get mad at yourself? I'm not saying that right, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I totally get what you're saying. I would say tennis, since I haven't played competitively in a long time, no. But what I was thinking is either ping pong, because I'm the ping pong champ. But also, I was just thinking when you said that, I was thinking board games. Board games is the first thing that come to mind that like I wish I was better at, which I think am. But certain strategy games like Catan and some other things, they just escape me sometimes, and I wish I could do better.
I'm with you. I get it. All right. Well, that was fun. I was just curious. Man, y'all would have laughed your butts off if you would have saw me. I was literally embarrassing myself. Okay. OU football news. OU has a new backup quarterback. He's got to be. I don't know how else he can't be. Because
well,
with
we
the-
have this conversation every week now.
With a
Yeah.
name, listen, with a name like General Booty, the dude's got to be a backup. He's got to be.
Or a Heisman
Yeah, I mean,
candidate.
Or
I mean,
a Heisman.
I want him starting because
Stop it, Patrick.
Booty with another 15-yard pass.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well,
wanna win, put Booty
it's
in.
Oh my
it's
God.
gonna be the most popular jersey, right?
Oh yeah,
gotta
dude.
be.
Yeah,
gotta
we're all
be.
getting it.
I
Yeah.
hope
God.
he gets in.
100%.
I wonder who his NIL sponsor is going to be, because that could be something funny.
If Sugars was still here, it's
Oh yeah, that was my
Oh,
first
yeah,
thought,
good,
man.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
That's
a pain. I just don't know how you get him in the building if you don't tell him, hey, yeah, you can compete.
Yeah.
Like you have it. It's a competition. At the same time, I do want to call back to the episode right after the spring game when I called that like, hey, Dylan Gabriel has to start because no one else looks ready. And since then, we've brought in 2 new quarterbacks, and it's clear that, hey, Nick Evers has that twitchy arm. He's strong his arm is strong, and he can move around a little bit, but his head hasn't caught up yet. And when it does, he's going to be something crazy. But I'm not sure if we're going to have time for that, because they're not acting like they have time for that. And Jackson Arnold is on campus in 8 months, 9 months. So the clock's ticking, man. It's crazy how quickly it goes.
The vibe that I get from a move like this is kind of what you just touched on, Mark. This new era isn't going to be complacent. They're just not. Like what they saw in the spring game, we all saw, and it's what you just said. It's that we don't really have a solidified backup who, if everything goes to crap, we feel okay putting in there. That's why they brought in 2 of those, and it makes you feel good, because a lot of teams, their downfall is not understanding their deficiencies and not addressing them. And that doesn't seem to be the case with this team. So that's what I'm excited about. I hope he gets in, just because you want to win, put booty in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love it.
That's great. That's a t-shirt.
Just like, you don't want to see him get sacked, right? But every time someone sacks him, they go, "He got the booty," something like that. Like, it's just good.
They are just eating booty alive out there today.
Oh my God.
All right. Oh, I had to.
It's so good. It's perfect.
Okay.
All right.
A freshman coming in for the Sooners this summer, Jaden Rowe from Tulsa Union. He won the Oklahoma State Championship in track and field 100 meter. He ran in 10.60 and a 200 meter 21.09. The dude's fast. He's a state champ. He's coming to play defensive back at the University of Oklahoma. That's good news for us. And he's a long and tall body. Like that's the kind of athlete you want covering athletic dudes, especially if that move to the SEC happens sooner rather than later.
He's what, like 6'2"?
Yeah.
Yep. We've always been short at that position, and we need to get taller.
Always, dude. I will.
We love speed. Like, give us all the fast dudes. We love speed.
I think the whole speed D thing from 2 years ago and last year was just fraudulent. Now that this guy's
I'm not
here.
talking about speed D. I'm not talking about speed D.
Speed D's never allowed
again.
again.
Evolution. This is an evolution.
Only thing I don't like about this guy is he's a union guy. He's not a jinx guy.
There it is. Yeah. Not a jinx guy, baby.
I don't know. Not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
That's right. I like it. I like your style, Pat.
Mason, who's a good OU player that went to Union? Like, who would I know? Because I know a handful of jinx guys, but
there it is.
They had a lot of guys go to OSU. And we're
tough
solid.
Looks.
I'm trying to think. I don't really was
There's
Pat
gotta be a
Fields.
few.
I think Pat Fields was Union. I think Pat Fields went to Union. Pat
He's
Fields
an
is great.
accountant.
Yeah, and he's accountant.
He's an accountant.
You gotta
I love
that.
Pat Fields.
You do. You love Pat Fields, man. I will never forget being in the stands with Mark last season and him just like screaming at anyone who would listen that Pat Fields is an accountant.
Only when he made plays.
Yeah, only. If he ever got
made
burned,
plays.
he wasn't an accountant.
Bro, then he was being an accountant even more.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I'm going to look up his LinkedIn.
Look it up. Yeah.
It's out there, I promise.
Yeah. Brent Venables, the caravan circuit is on right now, guys. I thought he said something interesting, and Duncan wanted to go ahead and talk about it real quick. Saw this on Sooners Sports Illustrated. This is a quote, by the way. Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables said he welcomed the structure from the NCAA, though the new guidance handed down didn't strike him as groundbreaking. Quote, yeah, I mean, the booster rule has always been there, Venables said during a media availability ahead of his OU coach's caravan stop in Duncan on Tuesday. I think the NCAA just came in and re-emphasized it. Still, Venables said there are places around the country where the guidance likely isn't being followed. Quote, is it going on? Yeah, it's going on, he said. So, I mean, I think we all need the guidelines. There needs to be some structure to what you're doing. kind of what we said last week. He knew this was going on. Everybody knew it was going on, and they just need some structure. He also talked about the NIL deals that they were giving for guys and how he was all for giving kids money and NIL deals and stuff. So that was good to hear. Obviously, you don't want your head coach being like, we can't pay these kids. not in this day and age. So
did you see Saban and like what he said about the NIL and like how he wants every single player on Alabama to get the same amount?
No, I didn't.
I think that
was that with Feinbaum? Was that the same interview where he said he wanted parity in college football?
Yes.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
Literally.
Oh my
Or
god!
he wanted to go back to the time where there was parity in college football.
Yeah,
bro.
Said.
Bro, we just let anyone say anything these days.
Dude,
that's such a wild quote out of him.
It's so amazing. Like, how did we get there? That's crazy.
Yeah, so
I'm so shook. I'm upset.
Shooketh.
I guess what this NIL kind of discussion with Brent does for me is they did say they could go retroactively back 10 months to see if there was any illegal things going on. This tells me that there is at least some grounds to that, because he said the booster rule has always been there. So hopefully they can use that as grounds. But I mean, we talked about last week. These companies are not going to be able.
They're not.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to come down.
They're going to get sued to hell, and then they're going to lose those lawsuits, and so nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's stupid. Ryan, I wanted you to touch on the
real fast. While
sorry.
we're on the caravan, I got two things. One, this is a new thing, right?
Coach's caravan.
So. Yeah.
No,
or they brought it back.
They brought him back during COVID. They stopped for sure. But Stoops definitely did caravans. Like he went around a lot, because funny story. I talked to a dude last night at the Eagles concert in Tulsa, and he talked about going to old coaches caravans in the mid 2000s. So, and they go all over the state and to Dallas, and anywhere where big donors are or boosters, they go. Duncan, I was shocked they went to, because I don't think Duncan's that big. But
Duncan.
These coaches caravans are like all the coaches, right?
Like they were back in the day. They were back in the day too.
Okay,
yeah,
they were.
They had like Sherry Cole and and he said Kelvin Sampson. So like they've had him before and had him for a while, but they definitely stopped during COVID, and I don't remember them existing in 2021 either. So
Dallas boys, I can get tickets. It is on Thursday. Boots on the ground.
That'd be pretty lit.
All I know is if BV was in a 100-mile radius of me, I'd be there.
I'm not joking. If you guys go, I can guarantee you can talk to Brent Venables. 100%. I can guarantee you will talk to him. And he'll let you record it. I promise you, because he does media availability at all of them.
Okay, Mark, I cannot go because I have another plan, but I'm not going to explain that here. I will talk to you about it after.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Is that cool?
Because I'm gonna get shit on if I explain what it is.
It's totally
no,
fine.
It's not cool.
Some people are here for the program, and some people are here for their girlfriend that went to Waco. And that's just what it comes down to.
I think
it's my girlfriend's mom's birthday.
So I mean, she's great. I love her. Carol. But that happens once a year, and the chance to see Brent Venables might not, and talk to him might never happen again.
Yeah. It sounds like they do a coach's caravan every year.
It sounds like you hadn't heard of it before this podcast either. So
that's right.
Don't come at me with that, buddy.
Hey,
Matt, are you down to come?
New information.
Matt's got a Stars game.
I am on vacation mode. I'm leaving tomorrow to Colorado until Saturday, so I will not be here. I'm sorry, bud. Or I would go. Now, I will tell you there are other people who listen to this pod that might be here, so maybe I would hit up some of those listeners to see if they would go.
Mark, what time is it at?
That's a wonderful question. One that I am absolutely going to figure out.
Program guys, fan meetup at the Sooners Caravan. Everybody be there in Dallas.
I think it's at the Rustic.
It's at the Rustic at 6:30 on Thursday.
Nice. That's
How long
great.
does it last?
6:30 to 8:30, and includes
Oh,
dinner.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, you get
guys,
dinner.
there's no doubt I'm going to this.
Perfect. All
Oh
right,
my gosh.
Ryan, touch on the Board of Regents real quick before we move
Yep.
on.
Okay, so the Board of Regents for University of Oklahoma, for their May meeting, the agenda came out last week, and they had the meeting, I believe, last Thursday and Friday, and in like the 300-page document, that is their agenda, they had nestled in there some information about improvements that they are making to sports facilities. So I am going to give you guys some more info on like the first two, because I think this is like really fascinating stuff. And then I'll go through the rest of the list and we can kind of talk about like what that means. So first up is Gaylord Memorial Stadium, football stadium. The remaining phases of stadium work are projected cost of $300 million. They are investing $300 million into the stadium. So what does that include? That includes additional concourses and seating, handrails, technology improvements, game day operations and press facilities, space for athletics, administration, and related operations, the demolition of the existing press box structure, and construction of a new West Addition that will include significantly improved patron and fan amenities and field lighting improvements. So that is awesome. I've heard from a lot of people that the press box, and maybe Mason, you can touch on this
It's crap.
a little bit more, is
It
crap.
sucks.
So I think it's good that they're improving that. And then another one I wanted to touch on real quick is it's called in the actual agenda, the Bud Wilkinson Wagner redevelopment. And this is specifically the northeast corner of Lindsay and Jenkins, which is right there, right by the stadium. And they want to repurpose the area for current and future space programming and academic needs for student athletes and the athletic department. So the proposed redevelopment could include relocation of the student athlete academic services, collaborative learning areas, administrative office, multi-purpose space, and review the need for surface or structured parking in the area. So they are putting $75 million into just that.
Into just a hangout place for athletes?
Sounds like it.
Just for the football team or athletes.
No, it's athlete. It's like student.
That's weird.
Athlete,
actually, I'm not
services.
about that.
I'm not really. I'm listening to that and I'm like, wait, hold on. So,
yeah. And they call us for money. Yeah, right.
No, but here's the deal.
Just kidding.
We do this, and in 5 years, we have #1 recruiting classes. That's the
true.
kind of
That's
investment that you have to
Yes.
make.
Yeah.
That's how it works, because all the other teams have something like this. UT
So-
has a spot, right? They've got a barbershop
course
in
they
their
do.
spot. But it's just, you need something like that.
And so I'm going to run through the rest of these really quickly. But I want to talk about like what this all means and like, in my opinion, what it means. So Dale Baseball Park, they're putting $30 million into renovations and expansion. Softball Stadium, $42 million into expansion and renovation. Gymnastics.
Now, real fast.
Park. Yep.
Shout out the softball stadium getting more than the baseball stadium.
Love
Yeah.
that.
That's cool. They
That's really
deserve it.
cool.
I'm really glad. Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. 12 million into the gymnastics center, 5 million for the indoor track, 8 million for the tennis pavilion, 7 million for the golf learning center, and 6 million for Lloyd Noble. So pretty much all the sports that Matt goes through every week in the Circle of the WaGanns, like they're putting money into these facilities. And to me, this just means one thing, and it's SEC. And they are prepping for the SEC move because all of the SEC teams have amazing facilities and they have to step up their game and they have to put their money where their mouth is. And I love this. I love all of this. So super excited.
Big fan.
Yeah, I think the one thing, sorry, I forgot to touch about this two things. First thing, no soccer renovations. That sucks. The second thing is Gaylord. I really want the north side screen to be remodeled to something bigger.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that would have
fair.
been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait. Hold on. I want to touch on that too, because that was already replaced, right? Because it says like, even in this, it says the enhancement and replacement of the existing north scoreboard which comprise the second construction phase, is substantially complete at a total project cost of $5 million.
Oh, interesting.
they've
So they
already
already
replaced
did
it.
that this year.
It sounds like it, at least.
Awesome.
According to the Board of Regents agenda.
Cool.
Hot dog. Anybody else before we move on? Because we're moving on. It's time to circle those wagons. This might be kind of a depressing circle the wagons this time, but I don't know. Maybe Matt can turn it around. I'm kind of upset. I had a lot of people talking crap to me this weekend about OU softball. So let's hear it, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. That is actually what I'll touch on last, because I know we got a hot sizzling take surrounding some OU softball from our very own Patrick DeJennifer Hertzberger coming up later. So we will hit on softball at the end here. So I want to talk about OU.
The Jennifer?
Yeah, that's his middle name, right? It's
I don't know
Georgia
where
thing.
he was going with that.
Okay, well,
Go ahead, man.
we just make up middle names for everybody. Hey,
Okay.
circling on
thing.
back. OU's men golf currently in the regionals the last couple of days. Just finished up their third round today, Tuesday. So they'll be heading into their fourth round Wednesday morning. They are currently second overall in the regionals at under 14 behind Auburn, who's under 20. But they are 11 shots above the cut line to make the NCAA Super Regionals or Championships next week. And that would be their 11th consecutive championship berth. So as long as they have a decent round, not too many mistakes, they will be there next week. So happy for OU's men's golf. They are playing super well. Now, I know we touched on a little bit the PGA Championship in Tulsa. We will have boots on the ground with Mason, like you mentioned. OU alum Abraham Answers coming back, playing in the PGA tournament. Listen to his quote. Some of the reporters were asking how it felt to be at home, have some Sooner fans around him. He said he was super excited to play. There is also OSU fans chirping him as well, but he says he's still very comfortable being back in the home state, even if it is a little bit north of Norman, but he is excited to play this weekend and have some OU fans cheered him on, have a little home court advantage, right? So excited for him to play. Now we got to get on to OU's women's tennis. Had a huge weekend playing in the regionals. They beat number 15 Stanford 4-1 to advance to the Elite Eight, where they will play number 7 Texas A&M on May 20th. These Sooners have beat the record or set the record for most wins in program history with the 3-0 Smackers for this season. So they are having an absolutely historic season. So I just want to read off who is left over in the Elite Eight. So we got North Carolina, Princeton, Virginia, Texas, Duke, North Carolina State, A&M, and OU. So OU, if they did end up winning, would play Duke or North Carolina State in the next round. So super excited as they continue to march on their historic season. The regionals or the Elite A will take place in Champaign, Illinois. So look out for the OU's women's tennis this weekend. The only other program that was really in action other than softball last weekend was OU's men's baseball. Went 2 out of 3 against West Virginia this week, won 15-1 in the first game, lost 8-9 in the second, and 17-3 in the third. So always good when you can win 2 out of 3 games out of a series. But then they came back and lost 18-0 to Wichita State last night. So just, I don't know, it just doesn't really make too much sense because they did beat them earlier in the year.
And didn't they were in contention for the conference title, for the regular season conference title, but they had to sweep West Virginia and get some help, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, I think they're still in contention going in this week against Texas Tech, but they would have to sweep and also get some help as well. So I think it might be a little out of reach, especially with they weren't able to sweep last week as well. So we'll see. Still having an okay. It's just very up and down season. They play really well, win 2 out of 3, and then they come back, lose 18-0 last night. You know, it's just what's going on, right? Yeah. So very up and down season. Hopefully they can be regionals as well. But again, final topic, got to hit on OU softball. So just go ahead and wrap up the Big 12 tournament. Ended up making to the final. Got beat by their home state rivals, OSU, 4-3. I did watch the game. It was a little bit disappointing, but you know what? to give some relief to Sooner fans out there, we're still talking about a very historic team with some historic players on them. Last time they won the regular season crown, lost in the Big 12 tournament, was back in 2000. They ended up winning the national championship that year. So if anything's going to happen, I would have high hopes for this team going into the regionals, which they are continuing to host. This is their third straight year being the number one overall seed in the softball nation. So they will play against Prairie View A&M, Minnesota, and Texas A&M in the regionals. I see no one really competing with us there. It's really just going to get when we get to supers and those final games. But I do want to touch on a quick point before we get to the hot take from Patrick. I think one of the biggest things that OU is missing out on is with so many run rules, pitchers are missing out on a lot of extra innings. They missed out on 66 extra innings just based on the fact that they run ruled 30 plus of their opponents. So they missed out on a lot of crunch time softball, which I think really took into effect during the Big 12 championship game. The pitchers just looked a little bit off, a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
But they haven't played in a moment like that all season. They haven't really gone to a lot of 7-inning stretches. And I think that showed up. I think that experience is going to help them out. Hopefully that will lead to Patrick's hot take. So let's hear it, baby.
All righty. Here we go, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Bucket hat.
Bucket hat.
I love it.
So the first thing I thought when I heard we lost, like that's kind of unacceptable. We were the best team. We are the best team in the country, have the best players. And to things like Matt said, like it's a historic team. People are saying this is the best team we've ever saw. And it's going to be really tough to look back in 30 years. You know, no one's going to say that this was the best team we've ever saw, even if it were, because we didn't win that Big 12 championship.
What if they just smoke everyone through?
I don't think
the
it matters.
playoffs?
I don't think you can say this is the best team we've ever seen, or maybe even like top few teams now, just because this title is not won.
My thing is OSU needed OU's best pitcher, Jordy Ball, to not be available to win that game. So if she comes back for the NCAA tournament, and I got a feeling that, like Mark said, they may just smoke everybody for the entire tournament. I think they're done with this stuff. Like they know what losing feels like, and they know that they're beatable. So now they know, okay, we're going to have to give our best every single time to win. Now, as for your hot take, could they be like the best team ever now? They have to win the title, obviously, to be that. I don't think they can drop another game. And I believe it's a double elimination once you're in regional, super regional, and especially in the Women's College World Series. I know it's a double elimination. Yep. So they can drop some games, but I don't think they can. I think they have to win every single game.
Well, let's be reminded, they lost the first game last season.
You're
right.
Had
to fight all the way back, because if they lost one more game, they would have been out. They had to fight all the way back, ended up getting to the championship round and winning. So, yeah, I mean, Patrick, you're definitely right. I think they definitely have to smoke people and make it very convincing, but this is still going to be one of the all-time softball teams, no matter what. I mean, 49-1, that's going to be hard to beat for a long time. So
I think we expect so much from them, as we should. They're the best team in the country, and they have been all year. And when they're run ruling people like that, to lose a Big 12 championship that you should have won, especially against a team that you swept just a few weeks ago, and not just swept, embarrassed them on their own field. Mm-hmm. You should have been able to come out with a win this time. And the fact that they didn't is pretty upsetting. And I'm sure the girls are upset as well as Patty Gasso. But if they come out there and they run rule people through the regionals and super regionals and win a national title, I'm not going to be upset. I'll call them the GOATs. I have no problem.
I have a different opinion on this than I think you guys do.
Give it.
Cool.
Because, need it for content.
That's why there's 5 of us.
That's right.
I personally think that the Big 12 tournament game that they lost doesn't matter. I don't think it matters at all. And I think they are regular season Big 12 winners. That is true. And the tournament, yes, they lost. They're not the tournament champions, but they were going to be the number 1 pick or number 1 seed overall in the the College World Series, no matter what happened on that field. And to me, yeah, they got some more innings. Yeah, they lost. They probably shouldn't have lost, but I don't think this means that this is not the best team ever. Personally, I think that the Big 12 tournament, when it comes to like this and basketball and like baseball and things that like don't actually can maybe affect your seeding in like the tournament, but don't really when you're a team like this, I don't think it matters. So like, in my opinion, I still think this is probably, now they have to win a championship. I agree with you guys on all of that, but I still think this is probably the best softball team we've ever seen. And I think they'll show that in the championship. And I think, they'll probably dominate most of their people. I could see them dropping a game. Who knows? I mean, weird stuff happens in tournaments, but they're obviously better than everyone else. And they know they're better than everyone else. And I don't think one loss to little sister matters.
I'm with you. Ryan?
They took a calculated risk in losing that game. And they knew what they were doing. That's all. That's all I lied.
I think you're probably right, Mark. All right. After a hiatus, we're back, baby. Must watch of the week.
We're back.
We're back. Give it to me, Ryan.
Did you guys just enjoy watching all your like regular shows and regular movies that you've watched forever without me and my like hot take? Or not?
Yeah, I watched Game of Thrones again.
I finished Tokyo Vice.
There you go.
Yeah, I loved it.
We can
Very
talk,
good show.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that offline.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Ryan, without you here to guide my viewing, I just watched Pineapple Express the other day, and so
great movie.
I sat down at the TV and like, what did Ryan give me? Oh, nothing. Just scrolled and there it is. Seth Rogen.
You should have watched Drive My Car.
Yeah, you should have watched Drive My Car. Gosh.
I'm sorry I let you down, Mark.
No, it's okay.
But I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'm here.
Let's get it.
I'm back with another effing depressing show. Like, okay, so we're gonna talk about Under the Banner of Heaven, which you can find on Hulu. If it's a FX show for Hulu. And it is a limited series. So 4 episodes have been released so far. I don't know how many total there will be. I guess it's 8. It's usually always 8 for FX shows. Starring Andrew Garfield. Pat, would you like to make a little notion about Andrew Garfield?
I really like Andrew Garfield and like watching everything he's in for obvious reasons.
That you kind of look.
What are the obvious reasons?
Yeah, well, what obvious?
He's the less tan version of me.
The less
really here. My God,
really?
You are wild, dude. You are obnoxious. Oh my Lord, Patrick. Stop it. Dude lives in California and gets a tan and thinks he's a movie star.
I know.
Oh my God, the height has tainted your brain.
People probably walk.
I look like Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, people
get that
probably
a lot.
walk up.
You kind of do.
I get it a lot.
But he's like, he's English. You're German. Maybe there's some similarities there. I don't know.
Yeah. It's always crazy to me that he's English. I always forget. All right, go ahead.
No, you're good. He pulls another American accent in this one, so you can't usually tell he's English. He honestly, in most of his stuff, is using an American accent. Like, I can't remember the last time he had his English accent in a movie. Okay, so Andrew Garfield, Daisy Edgar Jones, who was in the show Normal People last year. That's really where she like broke out. She's an Irish actress. Really, really great. Wyatt Russell from Mark, I'm looking at you, from Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
And Playtest.
And
the Black Mirror episode Playtest.
Yes,
he's very good in that too.
Yeah. And then Sam Worthington, Avatar, from Avatar. So
the only thing he's done since Avatar.
And Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming to a movie theater near you.
Also, can I say this? Can I say this on the record real quick? We don't have to dive into it. I know Ryan's going to want to, but I'm not going to let him. Ooh. I do not give a singular damn about the new Avatar movie. I do not care. I don't.
I said
you
give me can you give me 10 minutes? All I need is 10 minutes.
No, I will not.
Oh my God.
You get this now. You get this now.
I will watch anything James Cameron does. That's my take.
Okay.
Okay. So plot. This show is based on a book that is based on a true story. It's a true crime book. So the plot is, as Detective Jeb Pyrie is his name, investigates the murder of Brenda Wright Lafferty and her baby daughter in a suburb of Salt Lake Valley, so Salt Lake City, Utah. He uncovers buried truths about the origins of the Latter-day Saints religion, which Mormonism, for people who don't know what that means, and the violent consequences of unyielding faith. So that is a plot summary. Pulled it from the internet. I think it does a good job about giving you kind of a blurb about what this show is about. It is a true crime story about a murder of a woman and her baby, and really the investigation into that murder and how it pulls out truths about the Mormon religion that the main character struggles with. Yes.
Are they real truths, or are they just
They're
like
real
truths within the story?
They're real truths.
Oh, I'm gonna watch this.
Barrier to entry, and I'll get to that a little bit here in a second. But barrier to entry, it's this pilot episode is like pretty violent. Like, it doesn't really shy away from showing you. It doesn't show you the murder, but it shows you like the aftermath of like walking into it. Patrick, that is not a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
The show is literally about a murder, and it's based on a true story. You could literally look it up if you wanted to.
I do like that it's based off of a true story. I love that.
The only thing that's not true about it is the main character, Jeb, Andrew Garfield's character, is not a real character, like not a real person. But they put him in there as kind of like, here's how this is like. He's like a reflection of what's happening in the Mormon faith, like around this situation. Another barrier to entry, the pacing of like the exposition can be a bit uneven. So what I mean by that is it kind of like can ramp up really quickly in some areas and then drop back down. So you're on a roller coaster a little bit, but I think it irons itself out after a couple episodes. I've only seen up to episode 4 because that's all that's been released. High points here. I think the way that the way that they tell the story of the murder itself, but also how the history of like the Mormon church, like, and how the history interweaves itself with this crime, and like how all of that works and how all of that interweaves with itself is very, very good and very, very intelligent and very smart writing. So it's really cool to see. I haven't read the book. Both my brothers have read the book and they said it's incredible. So I definitely want to read the book after this, but it doesn't just tell the story about the murders. It tells the story about Mormonism and how it came up and what people believe and like how some of that has changed, and really, really great stuff. Got to talk about the acting, of course. Garfield is excellent, as is Edgar Jones. She plays the murdered woman, Brenda Wright Lafferty, in flashbacks. So a lot of the show is told in flashbacks, and how it kind of shows the rise of this Mormon family, this well-known Mormon family, the Laffertys in the Salt Lake Valley, and like what happens to that family because of this. Wyatt Russell is a standout. He's incredible. He plays one of the Lafferty
Steals the
brothers.
screen in everything he does.
He's so good. He's so good in this. And I'm not going to spoil anything that he does, but he's just great and he's magnetic. I love that it's a true story. It makes it a little creepier and scarier, which I'm always into those vibes. And I think like the most important thing, yeah, Mark.
So you said earlier that the writers do a good job of like intertwining the crime with the Mormon faith, sort of, and the religion. If it's based on a true story, how does that work? Right? Like they're not like flipping the order of things, are they? Or is it just like through the story, they're touching on things and they're finding ways to make it connect back.
Yeah, I want you to watch it because I don't want to like spoil anything, but what I can say is like it will have flashbacks to this man named Joseph Smith, who is the man.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, hold on. No, you don't need to do any more for me.
Okay.
I'm in.
Perfect.
I'm in.
And I think like the most interesting concept about this show is it tackles like the main character Garfield really being challenged. Like his religion and his thoughts and his faith are being challenged by what he is learning about this case and what he's learning about this murder case. And he does such a great job of like trying to balance being a good Mormon and like finding all of this out and saying, I don't really know what to believe anymore. I don't really understand what to believe anymore. And like, I've been grown up in these cultural norms my entire life. And suddenly this is like shattering me. Right. And like, so good, really good stuff. I want to end on a fun fact. And that is the creator of this show, whose name is Dustin Lance Black. He's a writer. He wrote the film Milk and won an Oscar for that. He was a previous Mormon, and he has been outspoken about how he is expecting death threats from those in the Mormon faith for creating this show and putting it on television. And he's like, I expect this. I'm ready to have that conversation because this story needs to be told. So, really great stuff, really deep and kind of dark and messed up. But, you know, that's kind of the vibe I've been going for lately after the second Doctor Strange movie. So, yeah,
I'm going to watch this. I am going to watch this. I'm going to watch the first episode tonight.
You guys,
it looks good.
Let me know what you think.
I think this is the best one yet.
Wow.
Really? Patrick.
Yeah. Patrick.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
For a lighter-hearted exposition on Mormonism and Joseph Smith, you can also check out South Park Season 7, Episode 12, all about Mormons.
Oh my
Excellent episode. Takes about 22 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
I'm also going to watch Ryan's show, though. It looks really great.
It's perfect.
And I mean, I don't mind spoilers, so like I already know what happens.
Oh, I do. Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to do it. But like, again, this is a true story. So you can look it up and like, it'll tell you like what actually happened. And it's pretty crazy. So
Perfection.
I'm excited to see how they land it.
Awesome.
That's all I got.
Great. Glad to have you back, man. We missed you
Hey,
for
glad
sure.
to be back.
We missed your insight. We'll go in right into our MVPs of the week, guys. Who had a stellar week? We want to hear from you guys. Tweet at us at Program Guys with a Z. Comment on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Let us know on Instagram. However you want to let us know who had an MVP week. Let us know. Maybe we'll read it off on next week's show. We'll start with Ryan. Ryan, who's your MVP of the week?
I'm excited to talk about this with you, Mason.
Oh God,
because of your earlier comments.
Oh, no.
My MVP of the week is Luka, and I'm saying that because of a couple different things. Luka has like, after Game 7, I feel like Luka has the most like big dick energy in the NBA right now, and I love to see it because he's like I'm me and I'm doing myself. And like there's some like photos of after Devin Booker talked about the Luka special, and then there's like pictures and memes that have popped up of like Luka looking up at Devin Booker, and like the score is like 70-31 in Game 7, and he's just sitting there smiling at Devin Booker. And like he was asked after the game, he's like, were you aware that you scored as many points as the Suns at halftime? He goes, oh yeah. And he's just totally him. Like he doesn't really try. He doesn't try to like shy away from it. He's just like, here I am. I look super unathletic, but somehow I'm like one of the best NBA players right now. Like I got to give it up for my dude.
If Luka was from America, he definitely would have gone to Duke. 100%. He would have gone to Duke, and I would have hated him. I don't hate him now. I think he's very, very good. And I, like I said earlier, just don't want to play him, but yeah, he's a freak right now, and he looks very good.
Yeah, that's my MVP because of his performance in Game 7 and just that whole series, and then more than anything, his attitude and how he presents himself.
Matt Gann.
I'm going to stick in Dallas, baby. And welcome to the team, Ryan. I know you're going to be a big Mavs fan
I'm
and
not
supporter.
a Mavs fan.
So
welcome. I just got to give credit for credit's due. I'm not like you.
Well, I'm sticking to Dallas. Sticking in Dallas, just like I'm going to talk about the other team that plays in American Airlines Center. That is the Dallas Stars. They do end up losing in Game 7 to the Calgary Flames, but the only reason they got to Game 7 was because of the MVP of the entire series for both teams was Jake Ottinger, the goalkeeper. This man in Game 7, when it mattered most, playing in Canada, set a franchise record of 64 saves. Guys, that is when someone shoots on target that could potentially be a goal. 64 saves. That is absolutely
That's wild.
insane. He was getting pelted all series. Guys, franchise record 272 saves over 7 games, which is third most in NHL history. He is the absolute backbone of why Dallas was able to get to even a Game 7 in that series. He is 23. Dallas has got a young core. He's going to be the backbone for the Stars to come. He had an incredible series. It was probably the most amazing thing to watch, honestly. So got to give it up for my boy, Jake Ottinger.
My MVP of the week is...
Hey, Mason.
Yeah.
Can I touch on one thing about what Matt was saying? I just want to ask you guys a quick question. So the Mavs and the Stars, since we're talking about those, have you guys seen the meme where they it's the in-game meme?
Yeah, I
with
saw
Black Widow and Hawkeye, and you have to sacrifice one, and Hawkeye is the Mavs and the Stars is Black Widow. I was like crying laughing when I saw that.
I've seen the same one, except it was Thanos and Gamora. And Thanos was the Mavs and Gamora was the
But it cost everything.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, it's all good. My MVP of the week is whoever the new Miami Dolphins social media coordinator is, because obviously the old one got fired. The Dolphins tweeted out a video the other day that was Tua throwing deep to Jalen Waddle, caught him in stride, literally a wider angle. You could tell the throw was further. It was everything that the Tyreek Hill video that we talked about wasn't. And it was way better. So whoever they hired to be the new social media person, because I know the old one got fired, shout out to that guy, my MVP or girl, MVP of the week.
Yeah, I do know that there was a job posting for it. I don't know if they moved that quickly, but I saw a job posting for it last week.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I didn't know if it was real.
Who knows? Who knows?
But
Pat,
it improved.
Yeah. Pat, who's your MVP, man?
Yeah, I got Jeff Levy. He came in with a tough situation in a tough quarterback room. We had 3 quarterbacks when he came in. We now have 7. And he got Jackson Arnold for next season. So he's recruited 5 quarterbacks, I think, in 6 months. So pretty dang good.
Love
and
it.
he brought in the booty.
And he brought in the booty. I mean, he's going to be a recruiting fiend.
He is.
Yes.
He is, until he gets a head coach job somewhere.
And that's the problem.
Yeah. Until he gets that head coach job somewhere.
I'm still planting my flag, man. Cale Gundy for the job after.
I don't love the idea.
I like it. Especially with another new offense he's exposed to.
Yep. All right, Mark, who you got, man?
All right, give me the entire OU Soul Leadership Program, the mission, but give me specifically Josh Norman, who has led 24 student athletes on their own time. Everyone's done with classes. They could be hanging out doing nothing, and instead these guys are taking a service trip to Florida, and at least I've seen stuff all Tuesday and a little bit Monday of them helping. They're visiting with elementary school kids. They're painting the school. They're putting their talents to use and trying to set a good example for these kids at the same time. And it's the kind of whole person approach that Brent Venables has preached from the beginning, and we're seeing it in action less than 6 months on the job. It's just been really impressive to see how quickly this program has gotten up and running.
It's an old adage. Don't talk about it, be about it. And they've been about it since they got here, man. They've just been about it. I like it. Anything else before we head on out? Perfect.
Glad to be back, guys.
Ryan, we were glad to have you back. Thanks everybody for tuning in this
podcast
week.
Was so much more handsome with Ryan here.
It really was. And Andrew Garfield joined us.
Right.
That was amazing.
Hey, Andrew,
a more tan version.
Can you give us the English accent
next time?
On the spot, he didn't want to do it. That's going to do it for episode number 19. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Be sure to rate us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. However you listen to your podcast, that's where you can find us. Follow us on Twitter, Program Guyz with a Z. Instagram, Program Guyz with a Z. On our Facebook page, Program Guyz Podcast. As always, we appreciate you liking and subscribing to everything that we have. That's going to do it for this week. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, mate.
Come on.
That was so good. It was so good. Leave it in.